A new comic book day haul, October 30th, 2019, up next on Dave in the Cave. What is up, party people? Welcome. Your boy Dave in the Cave back once again for a new comic book day haul. So this one is actually 3 weeks worth of new comic book day hauls to work through. So really in total, guys, it's 24 books, and it's actually split right down the middle. So we have 12 DC, we have 12 Marvel to get through. So I'm really excited to get through some of these books. We have, some fantastic stories, some even better cover art. So, we'll get to that here in a moment. But really quick, you saw myself and Nemesis Prime and certainly Otto, really, talk about Baltimore Comic Con. And, really just for me, guys, just really wanted to put the cherry on top, so to speak. Honestly, that was one of my favorite cons that, I've actually ever been to. Was really, it was interesting. It was a big con, but it really had a small cons feel. It's very dedicated to the comics, very dedicated to the artists. Didn't have, that, that celebrity feel and things that we're really trying to pull away from what we do at the end of the day. So it was really exciting, and really at the end of the day, really invigorating to really be able to put myself within that particular environment once again. And I'm really looking forward to experiencing it for maybe an additional day come 2020. So really excited about that. Also today, all of my invoices from New York Comic Con were actually entered into the system. So, very happy about that. Definitely don't have to worry about that, really getting lost in the shuffle. So I'm really excited, to have those, those books ultimately graded and see exactly, where we fall out, at the end of the day. Really only have one outstanding invoice, and that is from the stuff that I submitted at Baltimore. So I would imagine that that stuff's actually going to get entered into the system over the next week or two. So super stoked to have all of that in and ultimately come back hopefully sometime in late December, early January. So yeah, all right, guys. So without further ado, let's hop into the books. I'm actually gonna keep the new segment going. The cover art of the week. I'm actually gonna do two books this week, given that there is so many books to get through, and really at the end of the day, I really just didn't want to choose between them. So you'll see those coming up shortly. But hey, let's get into the fun stuff. Why don't we? So guys, I'm going to start off with the DC pile. So again, that's 12 books. So first one that I actually have. So this one is actually a Wonder Woman annual number 3. Super stoked to ultimately have this. I actually have Tyler Kirkham on art, so that's interesting. You really don't usually see him on a Wonder Woman book, so really excited to have that in the PC. And then also again from weeks prior, I also do have Wonder Woman 81. Do have both covers for these. So here is your cover A, Cheetah, ripping through the Wonder Woman logo, pretty cool. And then finally the cover B, or the variant, by the super talented Jenny Frieson. So excited to have her back on cover art. Not sure what happened with with number 80 and why she wasn't on it, but nonetheless, super excited to have her back. So moving right along, guys. So this next one, it's actually Deceased number 6. This is actually rounding out this particular storyline. So I'm super stoked to see, where this goes. Have Mark Brooks on cover art for this one, and anytime that you can have Mark Brooks on cover art, that is always a fantastic thing. So happy to have that. Next up, guys, will actually be 2 Justice League books. So you have Justice League Dark 16, and then you have Justice League number 34. Super stoked to have these. Got to jump into them. And next up, you have Action Comics 1016 or 1016, however you want to look at it. This one is actually the deceased variant, so you can kind of see that prominent in this particular cover. Excited to ultimately see how it all ties in. So up next, guys, 2 Batman books. So Batman 81. Really excited to jump into this again. City of Bane. And the next Batman book is actually Batman Annual number 4. I have a feeling this one's going to be focused in on Alfred and, really the fallout of, everything that's happened previously. Really stoked to ultimately get into that. And, I'm really excited to see what this next one's all about. This one's actually a Basket Full of Heads number 1. I actually went with the cardstock variant. This is actually Joshua Middleton, so I'm really excited to ultimately have this. And again, I mean, Middleton is amazing. A lot of the stuff that he does, it almost feels like a must buy. The art on it is fantastic, and certainly, this one is no different. So, second to last DC book, guys. This one is actually Superman Year 1. I believe this is actually book 3, so I think this is going to round this particular storyline out. But really digging the DC Black Label stuff. I love that it is the magazine format. Does make it a little bit of a challenge to store, but again, nonetheless, I mean, again, Frank Miller, John Marine, JR. Again, I'm excited to see how this story ultimately, really wraps up. So there you have it, guys. There is the DC books over for the past few weeks. Again, I do have, one more DC book to show off, but you'll see that, coming up next in, the cover art of the week. So I'm gonna tackle the Marvel books, guys. Again, 12 books to get through here as well. So, again, home stretch. Thanks for watching. Certainly like, comment, sub up. Again, happy to add any any new subscribers. We're at 61 right now. Definitely would love to get to 100 before the new year. That'd be amazing. Certainly we'll do a 100 subscriber giveaway, and I'm actually working through all of that now. So hey, help a guy out at the end of the day. Jeez. But first up, guys, on the Marvel stack. So first one is actually The Amazing Mary Jane number 1. I actually went with the Art Germ variant. Surprise, surprise. Art Germ Collectibles actually got this hat at New York Comic Con. You saw it, from a previous video. But this one's dope. Again, there were quite a few variants to choose from. Again, I'm always a little biased in going with the Art Germ stuff, so happy to have it. And then speaking of Art Germ, next book is actually X-Men number 1. Again, Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, however you want to refer to her. Again, walking through the portal to Krakoa. This cover is amazing. I would love to have the Virgin. Don't necessarily want to plunk down the cash to get it, so the trade dress will certainly do. But this is fantastic. I'm definitely super stoked to have it. So up next, guys, you have Amazing Spider-Man. Shocker, shocker. This one is actually number 32. I have all of the covers. Here is this particular one. Apparently 2099 is in trouble, so we'll see certainly what that means, I guess. Second book for Amazing Spider-Man number 32 is actually the Amazing Mary Jane variant. So this one's actually pretty cool. Digging it. Love that she's hanging upside down from a web. And then finally, the third one. This one's actually really cool. I actually dig this one. It actually reminds me of a Midtown exclusive that got released maybe a year and a half ago. But I'm really excited to ultimately add this to the collection and keep that completionist vibe going on all my Spidey books. So next one, guys, Absolute Carnage #4. This story has been pretty crazy. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. Really excited to see where this ultimately goes. I think we're getting close to the end, so I can only imagine what Donnie's got in store for us. Next one up is Spider-Man #2. This is the J.J. Abrams book. Interesting story. You have the new villain in Cadaverous, so I'm excited to ultimately see where he takes the story. Next one up, guys. I actually got 2 covers from this particular book. I'm interested just to see, kind of what the storyline's going to be all about. I mean, I would imagine it's going to dive into the origins and all of that. I actually haven't got a chance to read it just yet, but I actually got two covers for this particular book. So it's Red Goblin, Red Death. Really interesting. This one is your regular cover. And I also got, one of the variants as well. This one's pretty crazy. I actually think it's a wraparound. I actually haven't, again, got a chance to, really look at a lot of the stack just yet, just because there's so much. But next up, guys, let's see here. Let's just go through real quick. So I have 3 books left, and again, one of them I will save, for the cover of the week. So. This next one, Invisible Woman #4. This is amazing. One of my favorite artists in Adam Hughes on cover art. Been an interesting story. I believe we're getting close to the end on this book. I think there's only one left. It is going to be at a run of 5. But again, not to bring Baltimore back into it, but got a chance to meet Adam once again. Had him sign a few books, and it's always good to see him. Again, he's one of my favorites. He's certainly super mellow and really quiet, but again, he's amazingly talented, and again, I'm one of the guys that really buys, I would say, 90 to 95% of what he's going to put out there. So really, really excited to add that to the collection. And finally, guys, the last book that I have for Marvel before I jump into the cover of the week is Ghost Spider #3. Interesting one. We'll see where the story goes, and we'll go from there. All right, so guys, that is the haul for this particular week. Stay tuned for the cover of the week that I'm gonna actually jump into right now. So see you in a minute. All right, guys. So again, with 3 weeks of books to work through, it was really, really hard to really narrow down to one particular cover. So I actually pulled one DC book, one Marvel book, and again, we'll really go from there. Guys, let me know in the comments, which particular one that you liked, whether it is the DC book, whether it is the Marvel book. If you got a chance to read them, certainly, again, let's definitely talk about the story. But we'll start with Marvel first, guys. So I'm actually going to show off a Venom 19 book. This one is actually the Mary Jane variant. So this is crazy. This one is done, I'm going to butcher his name, but Jae-Young Lee. There's actually this particular one, but Frankie's Comics also did the Virgin variant on this, and it's actually Carnage instead of Venom. But again, I mean, for me, I mean, again, I'm not really that vested into Venom. Again, I just love the cover art, but super stoked to have it. And then my DC book for my nomination for cover of the week is actually a DC Black Label book. So this one is actually the Joker book. So Joker, Killer Smile. This is bananas. This one was actually done by Carrie Andrews. You know, this is I don't even know what to say, but you know, again, I'm really excited to get into the story. Again, I really do like this magazine format, and you know, really being able to you know, see what the Black Label has to offer at the end of the day. So yeah, guys, there you go. That is you know, my haul in its entirety. Again, sorry for the hiatus. It's certainly been a little crazy here at home, but you know, hey, again, really happy for you know, anybody watching, and you know, certainly, you know, again, a lot of the feedback that I've gotten. Certainly sub up to the channel, you know, definitely sub up to the crew as well. 3 Men in a Basement, Lords on the Long Box. I know Lords are on their way to 3,000. 3 Men is actually super close to 900, and certainly 1,000 in their own right. You know, so definitely help those guys out in really being able to achieve those numbers. So you know, without further ado, guys, this is where I'm going to wrap the video. Thanks once again for watching. So this is officially your boy, Daveinthecave, signing out.